Tourism is the backbone of California's economy. But as destinations face increasing climate risks and sustainability challenges, how can decision makers ensure a resilient and sustainable future? We live in a world overflowing with data. Yet, critical tourism risk and sustainability information remains scattered, locked behind paywalls or fragmented across different institutions. Without a centralized, accessible platform, tourism stakeholders struggle to make informed decisions, and long-term resilience and sustainability planning remains reactive rather than proactive. That's why we created the Tourism Resilience and Sustainability Dashboard. A powerful, interactive tool that brings together key risk, sustainability, and resilience data in one place. This isn't just another database. The dashboard combines high-resolution risk, climate, and sustainability analytics from multiple sources, including tailored data on climate and disaster impacts on tourism, developed by RiskLayer, a leading risk analytics company and the driving force behind this platform. These insights are further enriched by qualitative assessments conducted with experts across California's 12 tourism regions. What does this mean for you? This platform enables tourism stakeholders to 1. Understand regional risks with multi-hazard and climate impact assessments across all 12 regions. 2. Measure sustainability and resilience performance using 7 critical success factors, CSFs, in a dynamic scorecard. 3. Monitor progress in real time through a customizable web-based platform designed to track goals and benchmarks. Now let's explore how to use the dashboard, navigate its key features, and engage with its data. You can navigate the data in 3 ways, depending on what you need. First, by region, you can go straight to one of California's 12 tourism regions and explore all relevant data for your area. Second, by data topic, browse data on different topics such as different types, natural hazards, climate change projections, health and safety risks, economic risks, community well-being, sustainability, and hospitality. Finally, by critical success factors or CSFs, dive into 7 key areas that are used to find tourism resilience and sustainability performance in our project or CSFs. These represent essential pillars of sustainable tourism, aligning with global frameworks like the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction, SFDRR. We will go into each one of these critical success factors and dive deeper in a second. Let's take a closer look into the quantitative data by exploring critical success factor 1, understanding risks. Once CSF1 is open, you will notice various composite indices which make up the total quantitative score for CSF1. Let's explore a few of these indices. Geological risks, covering earthquake, volcanoes, and landslide hazards. Hydrometeorological risks, including flood, storm, and extreme weather events. Climate change risks, showing future climate projections such as rising temperatures and drought conditions. Annual disaster losses. These are direct monetary losses from disasters that were modelled for the accommodations sector. Safety and Security Index. This index measures crime, homelessness, and social vulnerabilities. Economic Risk Index. Assessing economic instability factors affecting tourism. As you can see from the legend, each index is scored from 0 to 100, with 0 being the lowest and 100 the highest possible risk. If you want to go deeper, you can explore individual data layers that make up CSF1. Let's take an example. Earthquake losses in the accommodation sector. Here, we see average annual loss mapped at the census tract level. The legend shows areas with no expected damage to potentially extensive damage, helping destination managers identify the most at-risk locations. Under the climate risk data topic, we can explore the Drought Risk Index. This index can help assess water scarcity threats to tourism regions. The Drought Risk Index is based on historic climate data from 1990 to 2020. You can also explore how drought conditions may change over time. Here, we see projections for 2030, 2050 and 2070 based on two climate scenarios. A moderate emissions reduction scenario. This assumes gradual emissions cuts. And a high emission scenario, SSP 585, which is a scenario assuming continued emissions growth. By comparing these projections, policymakers and tourism operators can anticipate future water stress and plan accordingly. Beyond physical climate risks, the dashboard also shows safety and economic risks indicators that impact tourism resilience. Crime Index indicates the relative risk of crime compared to the national average. A score over 100 means a higher than average crime risk. A score under 100 indicates a lower than average crime risk. The Homelessness Intensity Index measures the extent of homelessness in a county compared to the state average. Above 100 is more severe homelessness, whereas below 100 is less severe DOT. This index places greater weight on those in emergency shelters, reflecting greater urgency in regions struggling with housing security. You can see homeless index is over 300 in the urban regions. Now let's explore the qualitative indicators for each of the 7 critical success factors. First, let's look at this data across all regions in California. On the left, a sunburst chart shows the qualitative score, ranking each CSF from 1 to 5 based on expert assessments. Experts rate on a scale from minimal awareness 1 to full integration 5. On the right, a sunburst chart displays the quantitative score from spatial data layers. In the center, we see detailed scores for each CSF, allowing us to quickly compare expert perceptions with measured data. Navigating the scorecard is simple. Click into any CSF, either on the charts or through the tabs at the top. Let's click into CSF 1. Here, we see 2 perspectives in terms of risks to tourism. On the right, the quantitative data shows the current state of tourism risks, modeled from climate risks, geological and hydrometeorological hazards, economic risks, and direct losses to accommodations. On the left, the qualitative data reflects expert panel assessments across California, measuring risk perception, awareness, and prioritization in decision-making. For example, the quantitative data for the state of California indicates moderate to high risk levels. However, the qualitative assessment shows that tourism stakeholders may have a lower awareness of these risks. This suggests a gap between perceived risk and actual risk levels, as determined by scientific assessments. It raises the question of whether tourism stakeholders have the necessary information to take appropriate action. Next, let's look at CSF2, Managing Destination Resilience. Quantitative data on the right assesses the availability and quality of climate adaptation, mitigation, and disaster risk management plans at the county level. On the left side, you'll find the qualitative data section. It shows what the experts think about things like budget use, how well policies are working, and how risk data is used in planning for tourism. CSF3, Preparedness, Response and Recovery. The quantitative data tracks data layers such as emergency shelter capacity, accessibility of critical infrastructure, and road networks. While the qualitative data measures tourism involvement in areas such as disaster preparedness, public-private partnerships, and response planning. Let's explore CSF4, Investing in Resilience and Sustainability. The quantitative data shows information such as funds dedicated to projects focused on resilience and sustainability. The qualitative data assesses how effective these sustainability efforts are and how well they are carried out based on ratings by tourism expert panels in all of the regions. Let's explore CSF5, Managing Sustainable Tourism Growth. Here, we look at quantitative data, which includes metrics like the rate of attractions to overnight visitors and the Tourism Pressure Index. This index measures tourism intensity in relation to the local population and land area. On the other hand, qualitative data looks at areas such as how tourism growth is managed, the regulations in place for sustainability, and long-term tourism planning. CSF6 measures different aspects of community engagement and well-being. The quantitative data assesses community resilience, social vulnerability, and access to tourism benefits based on census data and other socioeconomic indicators. While the qualitative data evaluate topics like community access to attractions, well-being, and concerns about over-tourism. Finally, CSF7 is all about environmental awareness and conservation. On the right, you see different environmental indicators such as biodiversity, air quality, stream conditions, and renewable energy use. While the left panel shows qualitative data based on our surveys with tourism experts, which assess tourism's role in conservation, climate action, and ethical tourism practices. For example, here you can see across the state there is a lack of information of tourism-related emissions and gaps in ethical wildlife tourism policies. By comparing quantitative and qualitative scores, users can identify gaps in resilience and sustainability efforts, helping stakeholders prioritize data-driven actions. So far, we've been looking at data summarized at the state level. But the real power of this dashboard is its ability to provide regional insights, allowing users to analyze resilience and sustainability performance across California's 12 tourism regions. To explore a specific region, you can select the region from the panel below or click directly on the map. Let's dive into Los Angeles, where the impact of the January 2025 wildfires is a major concern. We know these wildfires were exacerbated by drought conditions and Santa Ana winds, so let's explore the climate risk data. Here, we see the historic drought conditions in Los Angeles, which already show relatively high mean dryness levels. When we apply a fossil fuel economy scenario, drought conditions could worsen by up to 20% relative to this baseline, raising major concerns for water availability, wildfires, and overall climate resilience. Now let's look at wildfire-related losses to accommodations. This data is mapped at the census tract level, so areas with few or no hotels will show minimal damage. But we can see that in coastal Los Angeles, where hotels are densely concentrated, the risk of noticeable to extensive damage is much higher. Similarly, we can view earthquake losses or other hazard-related impacts by selecting different hazards from the data view panel on the left. Beyond predictive risk models and future climate projections, the dashboard also connects to real-time disaster alerts. Through API integrations with CAL FIRE, USGS, and other agencies, users can receive live updates on wildfires, earthquakes, and other hazards, ensuring that tourism businesses and policymakers have access to the latest risk information. We hope this walkthrough has given you a clear understanding of how to use the dashboard, who it serves, and how it can support data-driven decision-making for resilience and sustainability in California's tourism sector. At its core, the Resilience and Sustainability Dashboard is more than just a data platform. It is a collaborative tool that complements and strengthens existing initiatives, helping destinations, businesses, and policymakers build a more resilient and sustainable tourism sector. What makes this approach unique is its commitment to transparency, engagement, and continuous improvement. The dashboard establishes a baseline, but this is just the beginning. Resilience and sustainability planning is not a one-time effort. It's an evolving data-informed strategy that adapts to emerging challenges. Now it's your turn to engage. Explore the dashboard, dive into your region's data, compare insights, and identify priority areas. Use it as a decision support tool. Incorporate risk and sustainability data into your policies, planning, and investments. Collaborate and contribute. This platform is designed to evolve. Your insights, feedback, and participation will shape its future impact. The future of resilient and sustainable tourism starts with informed action. Join us in using the Resilience and Sustainability Dashboard to drive meaningful change. Let's work together to create a more sustainable, data-driven future for California tourism. For more on the Resilience and Sustainability Dashboard, come visit us at risklayer.com.